My name is Insane Raven, and today I'm bringing you a brand new type of show called IR Reviews. Pretty much on this show, I'm gonna be reviewing everything from video games to movies to books to TV shows, everything. Pretty much, if I feel I can review it accurately, I'm gonna review the living hell out of that shit. All right, so let's get down to business. DareDevil season 2 just was released today, and I am a very big. I'm not even gonna try to lie. I am a very big fan of that show. So immediately I watched like 3 episodes. Like immediately, it was like So I immediately watched these episodes, and I had to tell you what was up.
Got it.
Let's start. Episode 1. Episode 1 actually is very much a refresher episode. It's an episode you can use if you want to reintroduce people to the series or bring in new people to the series. It highlights everything that season 1 was good at. The combat, the characters, everything. And then it very quickly and very suddenly introduces the Irish mob and the Punisher. In the very first episode, you get to meet both of these characters who are going to become pretty damn important later on. This is where I'm going to actually give you guys a warning and a heads up. There are going to be minor spoilers in this video. Nothing too big that like once you see like it's game over, you're not gonna be able to watch the episodes. But you are warned that some other smaller little details I'm gonna be talking about just briefly. But still I wanted to give you guys a heads up and a warning and a spoiler alert. This is gonna be your last true spoiler alert. So, we meet the Punisher, we meet the Irish mob, and things are doing pretty damn good. Other than that, episode 1 is a very, it's a nice starting episode. Episode 1, bang, starts and begins and ends with a bang, and that's all I'm going to tell you about episode 1. Episode 2, bringing dogs to a gunfight, or dogs to a gunfight, something like that. Shows off how things have changed.
What a day.
Pretty damn dramatically.
I wanted to say thanks. This has been
well, and to be honest, it raises the level. It brings everything to another level.
It's another day for me.
It's very high paced. It's very action orientated.
Came out on top.
And one of the things that
after all this, I think about
it really does really well is it makes the Punisher into a much bigger threat. It shows that how ruthless this guy really is, and
radio,
how he really doesn't plan on slowing down.
Shot at.
A couple relationships get
And I need to
get romantical and flirtatious. I'm not gonna tell you who, because that'll be a bigger spoiler between who and who. But I do want to tell you guys that. So we'll already start having more fun romantically in this season, which is good. Like, honestly, I think it's gonna be pretty damn good to do that. And season 2, episode 2, also kind of like, I'm not gonna say a cliffhanger because I don't like a Netflix series can't really have a cliffhanger, but it ends pretty cliffhangery. Cliffhangery. That is a word I use. Okay, episode. So it pretty much sets up a really high level, high energy pace for season 3. God, Raven, get your words together. Jesus. Season 2, episode 3, New York's finest, to completely destroy. It was like they had all this great momentum and great energy, and then they were gonna be like, you know what we should do? We should destroy. We should just like cut off all that momentum. real fast. And they did. they did pretty damn well. This episode is pretty much used more as a way of showing how similar but different Frank Castle and Matthew Murdock really are, even and how that portrays into their alter egos of Punisher and DareDevil. It's nice. It's something that we needed, but I just wish they wouldn't have devoted an entire episode to it. Pretty much the sum of the episode is Matt's like chained to this pillar, and Frank's just talking to him, while you have Karen, Karen, the secretary for Matthew Murdock Law, going on with her own little thing and trying to figure out the nitty-gritty of the Punisher and how he actually works and how he functions, because they are all very confused by it. None of them know what the fuck the Punisher actually is or what he does. So episode 3 is a much slower episode. It's a much I don't know. I found it almost boring, to be honest. I found it it's a boring episode, but it's a character development episode. So like, it's boring, but it's needed. Then we go on to episode 4 of and also another little real quick on episode 3. In the last 10 minutes, that's the important thing of episode 3. The last 10 minutes, everything just goes. It just goes. It just flies. Which is always fun, I guess. Because, like, what I'm saying makes sense to me, but I'm not sure if it makes sense to you, so I'm sorry about that. Episode 4, because we're not done, it's much more of a understanding episode. The energy cranks back up, the action cranks back up. You have Matt trying to save the Punisher now, and trying to like get on even ground and even footing. You have a nice little like fight scene with DareDevil and Punisher versus some guys, and not the Punisher versus DareDevil we've already seen twice by episode 4, and just that kind of stuff. Really fun episode, really all in all. Really good episode, really hype episode. You get really deep into the Punisher's character in episode 4, which is really, honestly, it is so needed. Because up to this point, he's really just been portrayed as this crazy, homicidal, I'm better than you kind of character. And episode 4 really just like dives into his character and is like, why does he do this? This is why, like, this is what's actually happening inside his head. You find out that, you know, there are reasons to his actions and to his, what we would call madness. And it's a really good episode. The episode ends. That's too much of a spoiler. I'm not gonna mention that actually. But fun stuff happens at the end. By the end of episode 4. Alright, then let's talk about episode 5. Episode 5, minor spoiler. You ready? With Elektra being fully introduced and coming on, the
hard hats are required while within.
They're taking in the angle of not so much that Matt and Elektra fall in love, but the fact that they've already been past lovers, which honestly I feel is a very interesting way of taking it. I say interesting, but I mean a very good way of taking it. It's a way that I feel like, even though it might be 100% correct, I feel like it's more truthful. So now that we talk about each episode individually, I want to just talk about the series as a whole, the season as a whole of where I think it's going. Keeping in mind that I've only seen up to episode 5. So everything at this point is pretty much just pure speculation in a way. It looks like this is gonna be a very good season, very like insane and intense season. It's gonna be a season that you're going to have to watch from beginning to end because every episode, not only builds but it provides its own mysteries, it creates its own problems and mistakes. Well, the first season really didn't do that. The first season was a very continual build to everything. Everything kind of made sense. Everything more or less made sense within the season. Season 2 really doesn't have that going for it. It has, and that's another thing that's kind of concerning. Not only does season 2 not have like one story that it's telling multiple stories, which I'm worried that by the end of season 2, it's going to have tried to do too much and so much in such a little amount of time that I don't know if it's going to actually all come out to fruition the way
What a day, huh? Hey, listen.
the way that we're hoping it
I
does.
wanted to say thanks.
I feel
Yeah,
as
for
much
sure.
as the Punisher DareDevil angle
Not me.
is a very adversarial one based on philosophical viewpoints,
After all this,
seeing how they interact, I can very well see in the next couple of episodes them kind of just smoothing out all the wrinkles and be like, you know what, it's okay.
About just being on the radio.
And 100% fine. We can work together, and I'll play by your rules, you'll play by my rules, and we would together team up and take out this thing, whatever the final like threat actually ends up being in this episode. And then you have the character of Elektra, who really, it's very awkward, the relationship, like any direction I can see between Elektra and DareDevil, just because with the picture painted in episode 5, it's such this like, no, this, you can't be near me, you can't do this kind of system, that it's very interesting to see how it's going to work out and see how it actually plays through. Mainly because I don't know what's gonna happen, and because it's not as clear cut as it typically is. And the Punisher is a very emotional and very human character. You really don't get that feel. That's not a feel you get from Elektra. You get the fact that she's very much this almost kind of evil character on her own. Like she doesn't really have a reason. She kind of just wants to be doing this, and therefore does, which is going to be interesting to see how that kind of works out.
Let's do this.
What was that?
With how that works out in regards to DareDevil and Punisher working together and how that all smooths out. But honestly, if the rest of the season keeps this kind of vibe and momentum that we have going throughout the first 5 episodes, not only will we be fine, we will be in a very good place come their season 3, because this, of course, is going to be a season 3. If there's not a season 3, Netflix, you did something wrong. This is a very good show. It's a very good performances coming from all angles. And just to shut the show down would be a grave mistake.
All right. Still in one piece.
So that's kind of my quickie review on season 2 as a whole. Thank you guys for watching. My name has been Insane Raven. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next review.